JJ, welcome to Breakdown. It's July 8th, Friday. Uh, let's talk conference realignment. You ready?
I'm born ready, Dad.
Okay, let's do it. So you were born ready.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of stuff going on. We mentioned it last time we were together. What's your take? After the huge news came out about USC, UCLA, what's your take on conference realignment?
I think it's more like conference consolidation is the phase that we're in right now. I think we're whitting down.
For some conferences, the Pac-12, the maybe the potentially the ACC, the SEC, the Big Ten did their counterpunch to the SEC's addition of Texas, Oklahoma. The Big Ten counterpunch with USC, UCLA. What's the next move? What are some targets out there for the SEC?
Well, depends on what they want to do. Do they want to do follow the Big Ten's model and ignore regions completely? They can go out there, maybe Oregon or get the Seattle market. I think Seattle's 13th in the country. They can get Washington. But I did read a report earlier this week that they were targeting some schools that were more in their geographic footprint,
Okay.
a little southeast.
What will those schools be?
Those would be two additional Florida schools, Florida State and Miami,
Okay.
and of course, upper southern schools as well in North Carolina and Virginia.
Okay. They already have a footprint in Florida. If they were to move to North Carolina, it would be a new addition for them, a new state. What's your take, JJ, on uh, conferences without regions?
I think that's the future of the sport. I think football is the driver of this, and they play the least amount of games.
Okay.
So it's easier to accommodate cross country travel for football. Now it's harder once you get into like, basketball, baseball.
Volleyball,
Yeah,
swimming.
I have no idea how many swim meets are in a season or how many volleyball games are in a season,
Yeah.
but I would imagine it would be a lot more than football. So
I think volleyball is around 20
yeah,
in that neighborhood.
so right in between football and basketball then.
Okay. Uh, what's the advantages of being regional and the disadvantages of being regional?
Well, just I mean, there's the travel. There's the cultural fit.
Okay.
You're just expanding within your territory. I think that those are the advantages. The disadvantages is you limit yourself. I mean, you limit yourself to potentially pursuing a school like Virginia.
Okay. Uh, I really like North Carolina. I'd be tempted though if I wanted to bring North Carolina. It's hard to me. It's hard to break up uh, rivalries. But the SEC's done it when they brought in Arkansas. They broke up the Arkansas Texas rivalry. When they brought in Texas A&M, they broke up the Texas Oklahoma rival. The Big Ten kept the USC UCLA rival intact. But I'm just curious how fans would react to losing rivals and things like that. Do they not care? Or I don't know. But that's just neither here nor there. I want to go to the Big Ten, Jay. I don't want to talk too long. We're gonna make this short and sweet.
Okay.
When I think of Big Ten, let's just assume that the Big Ten we're going to pick four more teams. If you were the Big Ten, who would those four teams be? Just assume.
If I had to pick pick of the litter, I would go with North Carolina, Duke, Notre Dame, and Washington.
Over Oregon.
Yeah.
Interesting. I pretty much agree with you there. I might take Oregon over Washington. Question to you: does Notre Dame have an option anymore?
Yeah, they have an option, and the reason they have an option is because of the SEC. The
I mean,
SEC,
do they have an option for staying independent?
they have an option, and the reason they have that option is because of the SEC.
Elaborate.
The SEC does not want Notre Dame joining the Big Ten
Why?
because you put Notre Dame in a conference as Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and USC, and they could be stronger than the SEC. I don't think the SEC is interested in.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, and I kind of interrupted you, but you said because of the SEC. Why is the SEC providing
I
that?
think eventually the SEC and the Big Ten are going to have to sit down and develop a champion structure between those two. I think they're eventually going to grow to 20 schools apiece,
Okay,
maybe
agreed.
25, and I think they're going to have to sit down and have a championship between the two of them. And I think one of the stipulations that the SEC will not budge on is that Notre Dame has a path to their playoff as well without having to join the Big Ten.
You
And,
know,
and,
you
I, and I think the Big Ten will probably have the exact opposite idea in mind. But I think that's the olive branch the SEC will extend to Notre Dame to keep them from joining the Big Ten. I've read.
you make a great point, and the SEC, I wouldn't put it past them for doing something like that. But here's my counterpoint to that argument: if Notre Dame joined the Big Ten, the rumors are that they could get $100 million per year.
Well, no, that's without Notre Dame joining the Big Ten. That's what
Oh,
that's the expected projections with USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten.
okay,
With Notre Dame, who knows what that would be.
okay. So that's what I'm saying. Does Notre Dame have an option of not taking that money and leaving almost $100 million on the table? Because right now, I think their contract with NBC is like 25 million, something like that. If they could go from 25 million to 125 million, that's just hypothetical, or even 100 million, how could you leave that kind of money on the table?
Yeah, I mean, they would definitely be at a disadvantage if some boosters didn't step up. But I mean, they're a private school. They operate within the private system. I have no idea how much money they have, but
Yeah.
you know,
I agree. I agree. Well, we just hit it really quickly, JJ. Is there anything that you want to add? I had 1,000 questions to ask you, but I don't want to overdo my time. So anything you want to add before we get ready to wrap up?
mm, I mean, I'm just trying to see what's going to be the next domino to fall. Honestly, I don't have
Okay.
anything to add. I'm just eagerly anticipating the next school to jump ship.
If you, audience, have any idea how the realignment should take place, who should go where, leave it in the comment, because I'm interested. I'm interested to see what the average fan thinks about the realignment and how they think it's going to shake out. Anyway, we're going to call it a day, a quick hit. Look for more as time progresses. JJ, WPS, Who Pig Suey.
Who that?
Who are they? I don't know. Who are they?
Nobody.
Nobody. I know who WPS is.
Okay.
All right.